In this lesson, we'll learn how to set up, light, and create a 3D indoor scene using V-Ray for 3ds Max. We'll work on creating a sun and sky system using image-based lighting and discover some techniques to improve the final image. I've got the interior lighting day start scene open, which you can get from the link in this video's description. This scene shows a simple living room with a few pieces of furniture. First, let's set up the camera. Move around in the perspective viewport to get a good view of the scene. When you're satisfied with the view, click the V-Ray physical camera icon on the V-Ray toolbar. This will create a V-Ray camera based on the perspective viewport, making it easier to set up our rendering. In my example, the camera is outside the room, so when we switch to a shaded view, we can only see the outer wall. To keep the camera's position and the image's composition, go to the camera settings and locate the clipping options. Enable camera clipping and adjust the near clipping plane. Now when we render, we'll see inside the room and it won't affect the scene's shading. Additionally, go to the Tilt and Shift tab and turn on Automatic Vertical Tilt. This will remove any distortion in the vertical lines, making them perfectly straight. Let's start rendering our scene to see what we've got. Go to the V-Ray toolbar, click and hold the Render button, then click the Start IPR icon to begin interactive rendering. The result is all black because there are no lights in the scene. Let's fix that. The V-Ray sun and sky system is an excellent way to light your scene. It's easy to use and gives realistic lighting. To set it up, click the V-Ray sun icon on the V-Ray toolbar, then in one of the orthographic viewports, left-click and drag to create the V-Ray sun. When you release the mouse button, V-Ray will ask if you want to create a sky map automatically. Choose Yes. The sun object's position in your scene doesn't matter. Only the sun angle affects the lighting. Now we have some light in the scene, but it's not perfect. Let's improve it by moving the sun to a better angle. When you click an orthographic view, V-Ray starts rendering through it, making it difficult to move the sun and see updates in the render. Ideally, we want to render through the main camera and use side views for changes. To do this, lock the render view. First, make sure you're rendering through the correct view by left or middle clicking it. In the Render Settings, Common tab, click the padlock icon where it says View to render. Now we can work in the side views while keeping the interactive render locked to the main camera, allowing us to adjust the sun's position easily. Let's change the render settings for a better interactive rendering experience, focusing on lighting. Currently, there are many materials in the scene which can be distracting and slow down rendering. Temporarily overriding all materials with a generic one is a good practice. To do this, stop the render and go to the Global Switches rollout under the V-Ray tab. Enable the override material. Click None and assign a V-Ray material. Now all objects in the scene will use this material temporarily. Keep in mind there's actual glass on the windows in this scene. If we render now, windows will be opaque, blocking outside light. We want to preserve the glass's refraction. We can either exclude the glass material from being overridden or preserve its refraction. Let's choose the second option. Click on the Override Material settings and choose to preserve refraction and opacity from the available options. This way, we assign a generic material to all objects while preserving their original material's refractive and opacity settings. Next, let's improve the render's interactivity. Go to Render Elements and add a V-Ray denoiser. Switch the denoising engine to either the NVIDIA AI denoiser or the Intel OpenImage denoise. Both are great for look development, providing a clean image from a noisy result for quick iteration and changes. The NVIDIA one uses a GPU and needs an NVIDIA GPU, while the Intel one works on the CPU and is compatible with both Intel and AMD CPUs. Choose what works for you. Remember, these denoisers are best for the look development stage, as their results can be inconsistent. To make the denoiser more responsive, go to Settings and under the System tab, increase the effect update rate to 100. Ensure the Auto Switch to Effects Result button is checked. Start the interactive render again. The scene now has a simple shader, and we can focus on lighting. With the interactive denoiser enabled, we'll get fast feedback for any changes. If the render is still slow, lower the resolution by clicking the percentage resolution button in the frame buffer. This updates the resolution without restarting the render. Adjust the sun position a bit more. Once the sun angle is right, but the render is too bright, adjust the camera exposure. Select the camera and navigate to color and exposure settings. Apply exposure control using exposure value or physical exposure settings, which control scene brightness. Exposure value is easy to use. Increasing it darkens the render, while lowering it brightens it. Adjust until you have a nicely exposed image. V-Ray can automatically adjust exposure. In the camera section of the render settings, click Auto Exposure, and V-Ray will handle it. Do the same for white balance to remove color tint from lighting. Both require light cache as a secondary GI engine, which is the default option. Sun hotspots may still be overexposed, but we'll fix that soon. First, let's adjust the sun settings. In my case, the sun is low, like at sunrise or sunset. Since V-Ray sun simulates real sun behavior, a lower position means warmer light. We can change this by changing the color mode to override, keeping the sun position but using neutral white light. We can also change the sun's size multiplier. Increasing it will soften shadows without affecting light output. To fix the overexposed parts of the image, apply a filmic tone map. This normalizes hotspots and adds overall contrast. A trick to make lighting more interesting is adding objects that cast shadows without being directly visible to the camera. For example, place an off-camera tree blocking part of the sunlight. Go to the Chaos Cosmos browser, pick a tree model, and drag and drop it in the viewport. Adjust its position to cast an interesting shadow. Make another copy of the tree and place it behind the window for visibility outside. Although the sun and sky system provides general lighting, we can add more lights to highlight scene details. This scene has a spotlight fixture with a V-Ray IS light inside. Enable it and increase its intensity to illuminate details. Now that the lighting is set up, we can do a production render with all materials. Go to Render Settings and disable the override material. Add more render elements for post-processing like V-Ray Light Mix for adjusting individual lights and V-Ray Crypto Matte for pixel-perfect masks. Leave default settings for most cases. For production quality images, it's a good idea to use the default V-Ray denoiser. In this case, high-quality settings make denoising the final result unnecessary, so delete the denoiser render element. Go to the light cache and increase subdivisions to 2000 for more detail. To get a good quality image, set the image sampler to progressive and lower its noise threshold. Depending on your scene, the default value might work, but for this example, lower it to 0.005. If using the default V-Ray denoiser, keep the default value or increase it. This achieves a nice trade-off between speed and quality. A higher noise threshold speeds up rendering, and the denoiser cleans remaining noise but may compromise fine details. Since time is not a concern for this example, we'll go for the best quality option and lower the noise threshold. You can also make the picture bigger if needed. Now that we have everything ready, let's start the final rendering and wait for it to finish. Now that the rendering is done, we can make the image look even better by changing the colors a bit. We can do this in the V-Ray frame buffer, which has many tools for editing the image. First, we can change the settings of the lights to make them brighter, or change their color. Just remember that you need to add the light mix render element for this to work. Next, we can make the scene brighter by increasing the environment light's multiplier, but be careful not to make it too bright or it might create noise in the image. We can also control how strong the sunlight is and change its color if we want to. Now, we can make the image more interesting by adding more contrast using the Curves color correction tool. We can use the crypto matte we added earlier to change the color of specific objects without affecting the whole scene. Just add a hue saturation layer, then add a crypto matte mask and click on the object you want to change. This way, you can change any object you like. To make the bright areas look better, we can add a bloom and glare effect to the image. Turn on the lens effects and see how it looks on the window. If you want to remove it from other parts of the image, use the crypto matte again to limit the effect to just the window. If you think it's too strong, you can decrease its intensity a little. Once you're happy with your image, you can save it as a PNG. But if you want to make more changes later, save your image in the V-Ray History tab. This keeps the image on your computer with all the details and lets you edit colors whenever you want. If you don't see the History tab, press the H key in the frame buffer. If it's grayed out and won't let you save, press the S key to open the settings. Go to the History tab and make sure it's enabled. You can save images in a folder called VFB_history in your 3ds Max project path or choose a different location. Once it's set up, click the Save icon and the image will be stored. Now let's look at another way to light an interior scene. Instead of using the sun and sky system, we'll use image-based lighting. I've already turned off the lights we made earlier, so the scene is completely dark. I also set the denoiser to a faster mode for quick results. To set up image-based lighting, we'll use the V-Ray Dome Light. Click the Create Dome Light icon on the toolbar and then click anywhere in the top view. The light's position doesn't matter. The V-Ray Dome Light makes a half sphere or sphere around the scene that casts light. Right now, it uses a white color for even lighting from all sides. To make it more natural, we can use a panoramic high dynamic range image, HDRI. Go to the Dome Light properties in the Modify panel, make sure the Map option is checked, and assign a V-Ray bitmap. Load an HDRI or XR image that stores lots of details. These images create realistic and easy to set up lighting. You can find them online or make your own if you like photography. Once you load the bitmap, make sure the mapping is set correctly. Drag it to the material editor and choose spherical for mapping type. Now the dome light uses the intensity and colors of this image. We can adjust the horizontal rotation in the bitmap parameters to see different results. You can also lock the texture to the icon, so rotating the dome light in the viewport also rotates the HDRI. Just make sure you only rotate on the Z-axis for natural results. Chaos Cosmos has a big collection of HDRIs you can use for your scenes. Turn off the dome light we just made and open the Chaos Cosmos browser. I've picked a few HDRIs I like. To test them out, drag and drop one into your scene. A dome light is automatically created with the HDRI set up correctly. Now just rotate the light until you get a result you like. For example, this one gives a moody sunset look. Turn it off and try another one. And another. Different HDRIs give different results, so pick one based on the look you want. Also, consider adjusting the color corrections when you change the lighting. Add a lookup table layer to try more color corrections. Load some LUT files and see how they change your image. Click the icon to see a list of LUT files in the folder. Hover over them to preview how they affect your render's colors. Pick one and lower its opacity if needed. V-Ray has a useful feature that lets you use multiple dome lights. This means you can render a single image with many dome lights and different HDRIs, then use light mix to separate them. Let's turn on all the dome lights we tested and switch the denoiser back to the default one since we're doing a production render. When we render, the result will look too bright and wrong because the lighting from all the different dome lights is added together, but we can use light mix to isolate each dome light. In light mix, turn off all of them and toggle them on one at a time. You can see all the information is there, and we can get different lighting variations with just one render. Using multiple dome lights may slow down the render, but this setup is flexible and can save time by doing one render instead of many.